Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the March 2nd regular board meeting. Please rise for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Trustee Hein?
Here.
Trustee Vito?
Here.
Trustee Brady?
Here.
Trustee Lang?
Here.
Trustee Kruger?
Present.
Trustee Vogel?
Here.
President Argyris?
Here. Thank you. Entertain a motion to approve the minutes for the regular meeting of February 2nd.
So move.
Motion by Trustee Hein.
Second.
Second by Trustee Lang. Roll call, please.
Trustee Hein?
Yes.
Trustee Vito?
Yes.
Trustee Brady?
Yes.
Trustee Lang?
Yes.
Trustee Kruger?
Yes.
Trustee Vogel?
Yes.
President Argyris?
Yes. Changes to the agenda?
One this evening, ask that 13C be removed from the agenda due to the absence of key parties to the discussion.
Thank you. Okay. Entertain a motion to remove it?
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Trustee Vogel, second by Trustee Kruger. Roll call.
Trustee Hein?
Yes.
Trustee Vito?
Yes.
Trustee Brady?
Here.
Trustee Lang?
Yes.
Trustee Kruger?
Yes.
Trustee Vogel?
Yes.
President Argyris?
Yes, and that will be rescheduled for the 16th?
Correct.
Thank you. Proclamations, Madam Clerk?
Okay. Village of Wheeling National Athletic Training Month, March 2015. Athletic trainers have a long history of providing quality health care for athletes and those engaged in physical activity based on specific tasks, knowledge, and skills acquired through their nationally regulated educational processes. Athletic trainers provide prevention of injuries, recognition, evaluation, and aggressive treatment, rehabilitation, health care administration, education, and guidance. The National Athletic Trainers Association represents and supports 39,000 members of the athletic training profession employed in the following settings: professional sports, colleges and universities, high schools, clinics and hospitals, corporate and industrial settings, military branches. Leading organizations concerned with athletic training and health care have joined together in a common desire to raise public awareness of the importance of the athletic training profession and to emphasize the importance of quality health care within the aforementioned settings. Such an effort will improve health care for athletes and those engaged in physical activity and promote athletic training as health care professionals. Dean Argyris, President of the Village of Wheeling, does hereby proclaim the month of March as National Athletic Training Month in the Village of Wheeling and urges all citizens of Wheeling to learn more about the importance of athletic training.
Thank you. Dave? On behalf of the village, keep up the good work. You guys are doing a good job with these kids. They're huge.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you for everything.
Yeah, thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you for stopping by next week, too.
No problem. Anytime. Citizens' concerns and comments?
There are none, Mr. President.
Thank you. Staff reports there are none. Consent agenda.
All items listed on the consent agenda are considered to be routine by the village board and will be enacted by one motion. There will be no separate discussion of these items unless a board member or citizen so requests, in which event the item will be removed from the general order of business and considered after all other agenda items.
Thank you. Any concerns or comments?
So moved.
Motion by Trustee Brady.
Second.
Second by Trustee Vito. Roll call, please.
Trustee Hein?
Yes.
Trustee Vito?
Yes.
Trustee Brady?
Yes.
Trustee Lang?
Yes.
Trustee Kruger?
Yes.
Trustee Vogel?
Yes.
President Argyris?
Yes, thank you. 13A.
Presentation regarding the Wheeling Prospect Heights Chamber of Commerce and Industry by the Chamber President and Board.
Thank you. Director Melantefe. Miriam?
Thank you very much, President Argyris. I'd like to introduce Miriam Campbell, President of the Chamber, Wheeling Prospect Heights Chamber of Commerce, who will make some comments and introduce the board. Thank you.
Thank you, John. Distinguished board members, trustees, and village officials, on behalf of the Wheeling Prospect Heights Chamber of Commerce and Industry, its board members and chamber staff, thank you for your ongoing consideration and potential renewal of the chamber lease. The opportunity to maintain the Chamber's office at Wheeling Village Hall is strategically important in many ways, but principally it provides a strong economic advantage to the Chamber at a time when it's most needed. As President, I'm very proud of the work that the Chamber has accomplished in the past 2 years, and our plans for 2015 and beyond offer promise and continued prosperity. I'm grateful to have the opportunity to meet and work with many business owners in our community that are supportive of our efforts and events. I'm very lucky to have like-minded directors and associate directors who devote so much of their time and expertise to guide our Chamber forward and participate in improving programming and adding value for our members. And last but certainly not least, I am thankful for our executive director and membership manager who have tenaciously worked through a challenging transition at the Chamber office and have brought vitality and new perspective to our efforts. I'd like to take a brief moment to introduce these folks. Jim Kerpel, Executive Director, please stand up when I call your name. Pam Dornban, Membership Manager. Some of our directors and associate directors with us today include Mr. Aaron Bastable, Weston Chicago North Shore, Tracy Bertog Landscaping, Matt Eggemeyer, Keats Manufacturing, Frank D'Angelo, Tuscany of Wheeling, Mike Luby, PostNet, John Milanofi, Village of Wheeling, Marty Mickey, National Louis University, Mike Putz, Spot on Envelopes. That completes our directors and associate directors with us today, Kathy Nowicki for Prospect Heights Park District and Al Palicki, Signature Flight Support. Today, the Chamber is well poised for growth. After a number of years of losses, the Chamber reflected a profit in 2014, and our membership has stabilized and is growing. In 2014, we added 32 new members. In 2015, so far, we've added 5 members, and there are 5 prospective members. We are always looking to identify new streams of revenue that will promote ongoing economic stability. For example, advertising dollars generated by our community guide, thanks in part to our efforts of Jim Kerpel, our Executive Director, increased from 28,000 in 2014 to over 43,000 in 2015. That's an 80% rise. From a programming perspective, the Chamber is stronger than ever. Earnings from our golf outing increased to $28,000 last year and attracted new sponsorship. And again, this event is going to be sold out in 2015 with planning well underway. Our Taster Town event attracted new sponsorship and new people to Wheeling, with more than 800 attendees, including staff and exhibitors in 2014. This year, the committee is targeting a goal of 1,000 attendees at the Westin. That has proven to be a superb venue for this event. The Industrial Manufacturing Committee has organized 7 events in the last year and a half aimed at fostering education, providing resources and a platform for our manufacturers to promote their businesses. Our Marketing Membership Committee modified our due structures in late 2014, is refreshing new member packets, and is at the heart of membership events aimed at increasing marketing opportunities for our members. Our Restaurant Row Committee has experienced leaders that understand the challenges and needs of our restaurants, and the committee is focused on adding value to every event that the restaurants participate in, as well as attracting new customers from beyond our borders. Our Scholarship Committee, new in 2015, will be focused on forming strategic alliances with other non-for-profits with the goal of awarding a number of scholarships to members and their families. Other efforts in 2015 include reestablishing a networking group to include a couple new women networking events, organizing events that highlight Chicago Executive Airport, investing in new computers for the Chamber office, and revamping the Chamber website and transforming it into an effective marketing tool for our members, as well as reviewing our strategic plan and working and turning to work beginning to convert this document into a working, living document that will guide our efforts for the next 5 to 10 years to come. All of this while keeping our eye on maintaining strategic alliances, including the Korean Cultural Center, North Shore Convention Bureau, Daily Herald, Dollar for Scholars, and of course, the efforts of our municipalities that we work so closely with. The Village of Wheeling has and continues to provide a very strong base for the Chamber to prosper and give back to the community with pride and ingenuity. We remain grateful to you for your partnership, your leadership, your friendship throughout the years, and we look forward to continuing to work with you towards our community's success. Thank you.
Wow.
Well, that deserves a round of applause. I just got to make a couple comments real quick. Congratulations to the Chamber. A couple of years ago, Village Manager Svandilis and I were concerned, as well as this board was concerned about the future of this chamber. But you know what? A good community, a good economic development team needs a good chamber behind them. And they bought into the idea is to work with them. Kudos to John Melantovy, our Economic Development Director, our coordinator, Drew Garcia, where our village manager, along with this board, and the rest of the staff, allowed them to help. And not to micromanage, but to help. And I'll tell you something right now, this chamber has done a complete 180 in the last 18 months, 2 years, that it's exciting. To the point where I've heard other individuals throughout the business community to say, you know what, what's going on with the Wheeling Prospect Heights Chamber, because they're turning out to be a force to be reckoned with, a real first-class chamber. And that was our ultimate goal, staff and this board, is to give that opportunity to move forward, utilize the folks around our community, and be part of something that I think is terrific. And you know what, kudos to you, Miriam, and your executive board and the assistants that are out there continuing to promote the chamber, because it's important. And I'll tell you, you continue on doing that, you'll have a home here forever. And I'm very proud that this board today renewed a 2-year lease to allow you to be part of our home here. And whatever we can do to help, I think it's great. And again, I applaud all your efforts. You continue to go out there and network. You continue to bring businesses here, and it's so important. And I think sometimes we really took for granted what we really had in our own backyard. And to bring the good out of those folks is terrific. So again, I thank each and every one of you and continue on the good job, because it's great. It's really great. I'd like to entertain a motion to recess for about 10 minutes so we can have some refreshments, but Trustee Kruger has a comment. I'm sorry.
I did, Mr. President, if I may. It was suggested to me that perhaps the chamber might be the best place to offer an idea that I've talked about for a couple years. And I know Christmas is a long time away, but I'm certain that you're aware of the triple threat, Black Friday, Small Business Saturday, and Cyber Monday. And I had wondered often if the chamber does anything or has a program in mind perhaps to foster Small Business Saturday. It is a national holiday, and if I could, I looked it up on Wikipedia. And Small Business Saturday is an American shopping holiday held on the Saturday after U.S. Thanksgiving during one of the busiest shopping periods of the year. First observed on November 27, 2010, and it's on Saturday, November 28th this year. It is a counterpart to Black Friday and Cyber Monday, which feature big box retail and e-commerce stores respectively. By contrast, though, Small Business Saturday encourages holiday shoppers to patronize brick and mortar establishments that are small and local. They've certainly marketed the hashtag Small Saturday, hashtag small, hashtag shop local, and wondered if perhaps the chamber might look into some way to promote that this year or maybe next year. But I figure we're way ahead of Christmas, and maybe it's an idea that you could think of. Leave it in your capable hands. Your agenda for 2015 sounded pretty healthy, so I hate to add to it, but perhaps it might be a way to foster some people to shop in town. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. Anybody else? Entertain a motion to adjourn for about 10 minutes.
So moved.
Second. Motion by Trustee Kruger, second by Trustee Lang. Roll call.
Trustee Hein?
Yes.
Trustee Vito?
Yes.
Trustee Brady?
Yes.
Trustee Lang?
Yes.
Trustee Kruger?
Yes.
Trustee Vogel?
Yes.
President Argyris?
Yes, and it's recess, not adjourned. So, thanks. Entertain a motion to reconvene into open session.
So moved.
Motion by trustee Kruger,
I'll second.
second by trustee Lang. Roll call.
Trustee Hein?
Yes.
Trustee Vito?
Yes.
Trustee Brady?
Yes.
Trustee Lang?
Yes.
Trustee Kruger?
Yes.
Trustee Vogel?
Yes.
President Argyros?
Yes, thank you. 13B, Madam Clerk.
Ordinance amending Chapter 4.32 of the Village of Wheeling's Municipal Code, alcoholic liquor dealers, specifically Section 4.32.080 and 4.32.200 regarding the Class O liquor license for the Wheeling Park District Heritage Park.
Thank you. Manager Spondelis.
Thank you. The ordinance before you this evening was discussed previously with the board and was written in concurrence with the direction given at that time. There are a couple of changes that the Park District required or requested at the time, and those are reflected in the ordinance before you. Just to review, they are, the four major ones are authorize the sale of both beer and wine in Heritage Park, beer from the sports complex concession stand, and beer and wine from a beverage cart in the Performance Pavilion. 2, authorize the consumption of beer and wine at the Performance Pavilion lawn, as well as beer at the Sports Complex concourse. 3, remove the restriction on serving only one beverage to an individual at a time. And 4, change the hours that the sale of alcohol is allowed in Heritage Park from noon to 9 p.m. to 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. Those were all requested and approved by the board. However, since the last time we met and spoke, there were 2 additional requests by the Park District, which is why we're talking about this again. We can discuss what the will of the board is and make the appropriate amendments tonight, so that by the time this discussion is over, which should be brief, but by the time it's over, they will have their license and we can move on. Those 2 items are the question is whether or not to allow the sale of beer and wine by outside vendors, and 2 is to remove the restriction from what the board had asked for last year, which was a requirement that at least 50% of the ball fields be utilized by adult leagues in order to sell liquor. So with that general overview, I'll hand it over to Matt Webby. If you have anything else you'd like to add? Nothing? Okay, so.
If I may, maybe just go into a little bit right now, what is the policy based on the Class O license on that?
Currently, if they would like to bring in an outside vendor, they would have to complete a special event license or permit, which we would then review and process in accordance with the existing ordinance, which is, I believe, 3 per year.
Okay.
And the other one is simply an affirmative or not for keeping the restriction of the 50% requirement for adult leagues to be utilizing the fields in order to sell liquor.
Okay. And outside vendors, Matt, would be basically a special event that you'd be hosting?
Correct, and at present, the district doesn't have anything lined up. The question
like the
arose,
opportunity.
should a sponsor, should somebody would like to utilize it, how would we address it? So
Okay.
that's why it was
And you would
discussed.
have ample notice to do that as well?
Yes,
wouldn't you?
yes,
Sure.
absolutely.
Okay. So you can, if you knew you were going to have 2 or 3 in the next 4 months or 5 months, I'm sure it'd be okay based on what we do, is to probably approve those 2 or 3 at one time.
With a special event license?
Right.
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 Yes,
That's okay.
and that's why we requested something, just how do we address that situation?
Well, I
should
think
it
the issue
arise?
that we have here is if we do, for the Park District say, you know, we have many other corporate events throughout the community, whether it be at the airport or elsewhere, that they do have outside vendors coming in, and we created this minimal fee of having a special event. So we understand that these guys understand BASSET training. They do have a liquor license. Our police department can, you know, monitor it because it's important to us. And that's why we created this special event.
Right.
And we get it, and we promote that. We like that, to have outside vendors coming in. But I think just to be consistent with our licensing, that we want to kind of stay on that.
Yep.
So, you know, if that's okay, but I do encourage you, if you do have events in the next few months coming up, is to bring those 2 or 3 events in, have our staff review it, put it through our, you know, liquor commission as a quick thing, and this way it's done. And I think I'm speaking not out of turn, but I don't know anybody else had any comments regarding that? Trustee Brady, I'm sorry. Who was first?
Just actually, if in fact you do bring in, or an outside vendor wants to come in and sell beer, what about, you know, your activities are mostly outside and it's kind of hard to control. Would you still have put the same control on that event as you would over here?
Yes, should any event take place that the Park District was conducting and an outside vendor were brought in to do the sales, it would still be in accordance with everything else we've put forth as far as safety measures, controls, and all that. It would just the purveyor, the person distributing would just be.
You'd still be in charge of that?
Correct.
Good, okay, and one other thing, don't baseball players drink wine?
No.
I'm sure they do.
What, a Jew?
That's all, thank you.
Trustee Lang?
Thank you. The outside vendors, and you'll have beer tasting as well, probably something to that effect, beer and wine.
Right. I'd hesitate to commit on anything we would have because this was just a hypothetical. Should an opportunity arise, how do we best move forward with it? And that's what we were looking for, is the direction on how to do so. So there are different possibilities, and should we be approached or start working with someone, we'd like to be able to say, in order to do so, we need to do X, Y, and Z to get us to that point. So.
And then the second point with the 50% of the fields brings up a great commentary for you at this point, because I heard last week, the gentleman left the room already, he said that it's a shame that our park district, our new complex, does not have any events for children out there. And I thought this would be a good opportunity for you to say that you do have events for Little League and so on.
Absolutely, and the trend on some of our tournaments that we have coming in has seen an explosion in that, where you're getting some tournaments Thursday, Friday, Saturdays coming in. We also offer drop-in play, and if you also think about it right now, you can actually go out to the complex and ice skate. We have a full outdoor rink out there as well, so there's always activities going on, especially within the complex for youth.
And just to be clear, there are Little League events and all that at the complex as well.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
Say that again.
Yes, there will be youth playing out there a great deal of time. So yes, absolutely.
Because it was disturbing to hear that that's what people are talking about, that there isn't events for children out there. And I said, well, I'm not on the park board, but I don't think that's a true statement. And I just this was a great opportunity for you to say that.
And should anyone have those questions, they are free to contact the Park District and speak with me directly or any of our staff, and we can even provide a list and invite them out to them.
Great. Hopefully that clears it up. Thank you.
Trustee Brady, one more thing?
One more thing, Matt. You know, last summer we experienced some difficulty with teams showing up early or after the game. They hang around in the parking lot and we see them bring out the cooler. And that was a concern, and I know you were made aware of it. Have we taken some steps to notify these people that, you know, once they leave the ball area, they can't be drinking in the parking lot because there's no control out there?
Yes, and I think that with any new endeavor, their first time out there, it's their first exposure to the complex. They try to take some liberties. These outside groups coming in, they know the rules, they know the ramifications. The tournament directors are aware of what actions will be taken should any of their players or their teams fall out of line. So we anticipate year two, everybody will come in knowing exactly what it was, with the majority of the teams again returning for 2015.
Because, you know, some of these teams, even as an adult league, you'll have 18, 19, 20-year-olds playing on that league, you know, and you can't be out there. And I know they consider tailgating as harmless. You can go to any professional ball field and tailgate, but, you know, you can't do it here. Right.
Well, and with some of the changes that have been approved previously, we really anticipate they will be more conducive to keep the athletes inside and on the mezzanine area and within the concourse, so that they will have no need to spend time at the parking lot.
Good. Thank you.
Do you have anything? Trustee Krueger?
No.
Okay. Trustee Hyde?
Fine.
Trustee Vito?
Nothing.
Trustee Vogel?
No, sounds good.
Motion to approve?
So, hold on.
If I may.
Just to clarify.
Based on what you all have said, then the motion would be including an amendment to strike section 4.32080 that prohibits beer sales when more than 50% of the sports fields are being used for youth events. So we're simply eliminating that from what is currently in the code, and that's what everyone is saying, and we are leaving in the process by which the Park District will come to us for a special event license when they need outdoor I'm sorry, when they need outside vendors to come in for an event.
That's correct.
Entertain a motion.
So move.
Second. Motion by trustee Lang, I'm sorry. Second by trustee Hein. Roll call.
Trustee Hein?
Yes.
Trustee Vito?
Yes.
Trustee Brady?
Yes.
Trustee Lang?
Yes.
Trustee Krueger?
Yes.
Trustee Vogel?
Yes.
President Argyris?
Yes, thank you. Good luck, guys.
Thank you much.
Still on track for June 7th? Yes, we are. Okay, good. 13D.
Ordinance granting a site plan and appearance approval for the Woodland Creek Leasing Office Building at 333 Wood Creek Drive, docket number PC 15-3.
Director Janik, and 3 conditions, please.
Thank you. This is a proposal by Woodland Creek to demolish their existing rental and clubhouse building and construct a new one. The new one is approximately 4,000 square feet. This was considered at the Planning Commission meeting on February 12th, and it was unanimous approval.
Okay. Petitioner here. Come on up, folks. Questions? Good. How are you?
David Friedman on behalf of F&F Realty Management and owner's representative for Woodland Creek.
Okay. Any questions from the board? Trustee Hein?
Thank you. It's a very nice addition that you're putting over there, and I'm sure the residents are going to enjoy it very much. The only question I have is, how long have you owned this property?
In September of last year, we acquired it.
Okay. Are you planning to go condo with this thing, and there's a reason, or are you doing it, or are you just going to be just
remain rental? Yeah, we're just trying to upgrade it. This should be a big benefit to a lot of the current residents, and will attract residents who, right now, there is no business center at the property today, with people working out of their homes, so giving them a place where they can actually have a boardroom, meeting space, internet access, business copying, etc. Give them potential residents an additional amenity.
Thank you. Thank you. That's all I have.
Anybody else? Just that, Mr. Freeman, I wish you the best.
Thank you.
And I know you want to upgrade, but also maintain is also important too.
Well, that's
the
what
previous owners always seem to do a nice job making an entrance and a statement for that complex over there. It's always looked nice, so hopefully you maintain that.
We hope to even improve on that.
Great. Entertain a motion?
Do you want the 3 conditions, President?
Yeah, go ahead, please.
Sorry. The 3 conditions: that 2 bike racks be added to the front entrance, that EFS is installed with cement backer board and a thick finish layer, and number 3, that an irrigation system be added to the area immediately adjacent to the new building.
Okay. With the 3 conditions, I entertain a motion.
So move.
Motion by trustee Lang, second by trustee Hein. Roll call, please.
Trustee Hein?
Yes.
Trustee Vito?
Yes.
Trustee Brady?
Yes.
Trustee Lang?
Yes.
Trustee Krueger?
Yes.
Trustee Vogel?
Yes.
President Argyris?
Yes. Good luck.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you for the cooperation, Village. Thank you.
Great, thanks. 13E.
Resolution authorizing the village president to execute amendment number 1 to the local agency agreement for federal participation for construction and construction engineering with the Illinois Department of Transportation for the Dundee Road Lighting Project.
Thank you. Director Janik.
Thank you. This is a very similar request as we requested a couple weeks ago for the bridge, Jeffrey Avenue Bridge. We are currently, we've agreed to participate with federal and state funding for the installation of the Dundee Road streetlights. The cost of the lights, which was approved by the board, was approved as part of a estimate done by the engineers. The bidding has taken place, and IDOT has bid this out, and the cost is higher than the engineers estimated. This request is for the board to approve. This is the 80-20 grant. Village pays 20%, an increase in the amount that the board previously approved. This also includes the engineering that was done by our consultant, so the state is picking up 80% of the engineering fees as well.
Thank you. Questions from the board? Trustee Brady?
How come it's only going to go up to, what is it, the railroad tracks, or?
It's going to continue all the way west to the village, the other end of the village, but this particular year, this bidding year, we broke it up into two pieces. This year it's from Milwaukee Avenue to the railroad tracks, and then next year it'll be from the tracks west to the western edge of the village.
Wouldn't it have been just as easy to do it all at once?
Not according to the grant funding mechanism that we're doing with Northwest Municipal Conference. They wanted it broken up into two phases. Tell you the truth, I'd rather have it broken up into two phases just for construction purposes. I'd rather have just part of the project done at one time and then have the other part. We had been approved for the entire project, but we broke it up into two pieces.
Too many times these next year ends up to be 4 or 5 years, because things get tangled up in Springfield and IDOT and everything else, and it takes too much time to do it. I hope it does take place next year, but I don't know if it's it's your mic. His mic, it's not. If it's reasonable way to do it, but I guess that's the only way we get the money, then so be it.
Has the application been processed for this phase 2?
Yes.
It has, okay.
It's been approved, in fact.
That's correct.
Okay, good. Thank you.
Trustee Lang, do you have
That
something?
just answered my question. Thank you.
Anybody else on this end? Entertain a motion to approve?
So moved.
I'm sorry, who's made the motion? Trustee Brady? Second by?
Second?
Trustee Kruger? Roll call.
Trustee Heim?
Yes.
Trustee Vito?
Yes.
Trustee Brady?
Yes.
Trustee Lang?
Yes.
Trustee Kruger?
Yes.
Trustee Vogel?
Yes.
President Argyris?
Yes. 13F.
Resolution approving a proposal from American Conservation and Billing Solutions for Aquahawk alerting customer portal services in the amount of $21,920 for 2015.
Thank you. Director Stavros.
Thank you. Tonight, we bring to you the final phase of the multi-phase of the meter that we put in. And this would be when we brought to the board in 2012, there was many facets of the AMI system that we had talked about. One of them was a portal where the customer would have access to their water consumption reports. And at that time, we had said that technology wasn't there yet, but it was down the road, and that time has come. And we went out and looked for companies to supply us with this portal, and we found this company called American Conservation Billing Solutions, Inc. It's a privately owned software development company. They developed the Aquahawk alerting customer portal. They can do that, use that system in almost any of the AMI systems, whether it be Census, Badger. So the system compared to the Census, it's a much cheaper system, and then it has actually, we feel, more features. And Superintendent Wolfgram talked to 3 of the municipalities across the country that have been using it, and they are very happy with it. And on their recommendations as far as that, we're asking that the board move forward with this. And this would be something that the residents could plug into. Not every resident's going to use it. Most of the communities that do have it, I believe that they said they have about 35–45% useful residents that are using it currently, but they said that it's a remarkable system. It's cut their calls down, remarkable amount of calls have been cut down, and it's, I'll let Jeff explain more to it, like Jeff.
Thanks. Jeff, come on up. Trustee Lang's got a question, maybe you want to give it.
I'll wait till he's finished.
Okay.
The goal of this portal is basically to increase customer satisfaction. we feel that by providing this to our customers, they'll be able to effectively understand how much water they're using, and if they choose to conserve, they could easily look up their information and see it. There's a one-time startup fee for this of $11,000, and then there's a monthly fee of $910 after that. We feel that if the customers use this and we promote it properly, it will cut down on the amount of calls that billing as well as Public Works are getting for high bills and other complaints.
If, for instance, I want to water my lawn, and I think that that's something as a resident I want to do, and garden or whatever, and can I look that up afterwards as a resident and say, it costs me this amount to water my lawn, or will I be able to figure that out as a resident and then find the worth? Is it really worth that much for me to water my lawn? Is it going to be able to hone down that closely as to what costs are? And
Yes, you will be able to. What they do is they have something called threshold alerting. So if your bill, you can either have it set up by billing or consumption. So typically, if your bill every billing period is $100, and it could even be broken down, by the month, you can see when you watered, you can see how much more you used.
okay,
So you'll be able to track it.
but would it be instant where I can go onto the system like an hour after I watered?
I don't know if it's going to be real time as the census system is, but you'll be able to track it pretty accurately. You could log in at any time and see an estimated cost of how much water you've already used.
Okay. And would it figure out the amount, or is it just going to be cost per 1,000 gallons?
I think it's just going to be the cost per 1,000 gallons.
Okay. Okay. Is there any system out there like that would just, kind of I look at it as similar to a smart meter system that the ComEd is talking about, where you really can hone down on what your costs are for heating, turning on your furnace.
Right. I mean, our census system that we have can dial into how much you use that day, how much that hour, but the customer portal, I don't think has that capability, to be honest with you. I'd have to ask them.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Trustee, wait a minute. Manager Spondelis had a comment.
I just wanted to add one thing as an overall comment when we're talking about this. The idea of this additional customer service portal was part of the initial project 2 years ago, 3 years ago maybe, when the board approved the new meters and the installation. The reason we're bringing this to you now is although the money is still available for this project, it wasn't part of the initial contract because this is a different vendor, and therefore would have been a change order to the project that you approved. That's why we're doing this now. And I just wanted to lay that out so that everyone understood that we are just following through on a promise that we had made when the discussion about new meters was originally put in place, that this is really just a customer service portal, and this kind of cleans up the last steps of the meter installation.
Thank you. Trustee Brady?
Thank you. Excuse me. I remember when we were going over the new system, and one of the features that was mentioned was the fact that this has the system has a way to alert people if they have a severe leak before their water bill gets into the thousands of dollars. Because it wouldn't take much. Let's say I use maybe during our 2-month billing period, I use 5,000 gallons of water. All of a sudden, I'm going through 1,000 gallons a day. And I thought, is this the system that's going to call me up and tell me you got a problem?
Yes, it could be set up to send, it could either call you, it could text you, or send you an email.
Good, because that's
to notify
important.
you of leaks, or if you're using more water than you would normally do for that particular month.
Yeah, so many times you have a hidden leak or something you don't even know about, and that water can go on forever before you realize it. And your bill, I've heard people have some pretty severe water bills.
Which is why part of this campaign is going to be an advertising campaign to let people know that it's available, because in order for that service to work, they would have to register. They do. They need to register.
Very good.
And the cost to the resident would be what?
Very good.
Nothing.
Nothing.
No, thank you.
It's our cost. Trustee Heim?
Thank you. This can be a great, great tool for conserving water. We have a lot of units in town that are rental units, whether it be a single family or townhome or whatever. And I've had personal experience where a townhouse was using a great amount of water, and a bill goes from $50 or $80 a month, whatever it was, to $800 a month. And that can happen. And I saw it firsthand. So it's going to really benefit us twofold. It's going to help the people that do have those kind of problems and don't know it, okay? And two, it's going to be conserving water. And that's very important that we do. We got Lake Michigan, it's huge, but we still have to conserve water. It's a good plan.
Thank you. Trustee Vogel?
Down the road, or is this system capable of online billing? I mean, it seems like it's got the information there. Can it online bill, and can you then pay online your bill?
I do not know.
Don't know.
It's not a billing software.
Okay. I mean, if it knows what your usage is, it just hasn't taken it the next step to calculate out the cost?
Correct. Well, it's not the calculation that's the problem. It's the mechanism of collecting money that's the issue.
Okay, so it's not there. All right, thank you.
But we just to be clear, we already do that.
Well, I'm thinking that might replace the service we have today.
Right, we couldn't streamline it by combining the two, but one is certainly used as a reference to the other.
Okay.
We've had some large water users, such as Hospital Laundry, already calling, asking if we have this portal in place because they want to track their usage and want to be able to control their usage. And they'll probably be one of the first ones to sign up for it as soon as it's available.
Trustee Vito?
Yeah, Manager Spondelis, you said that this was all part of the original plan and that we're just using a different vendor for it. Is that different vendor that Census FlexNet that's in our materials, or was it somebody else?
The information from the Census FlexNet, we're going to send all the information. The data is going to be sent to Aquahawk, and then it'll be made available to the customers. Right now, our customers can't view what we can view internally.
Okay. What I was getting at, though, is there a different vendor before that we were looking at to provide this service, or no?
No, because Census Meter does not provide this level of detail for external viewing, so we had to go with a third-party vendor in order to do that. But the idea was always part of the original concept. The idea of giving the residents this opportunity was part of the original discussion. That's what I meant.
And when do we think it'll be underway and in use, if it's approved here?
They told me that they could have it up and running within 30 days if you were to sign.
Okay.
Luca, clarification, come on up.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. Trustee Vogel, I'd like to address the billing question that you had. In order to keep the costs down, we decided to keep the billing system that we currently have. The new Aquahawk system does have the capability to also bill, but it would cost additional. And so at some future date, if we decide to do away with the old billing system and add the billing capability to this consumption system, it can be done. But initially, we just needed the consumption reports because the billing portion had already been in place.
Additional beyond what we're paying today?
It would be additional, correct.
Okay.
And so we decided not to add that extra cost because we already had a system in place for that.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, and let's see how this system works first. Anybody else? Trustee Kruger?
Thank you. Jeff, quick question probably. Is the annual fee firm or the maintenance fee firm at $10,920, or could it fluctuate from year to year, up or down?
As of right now, they haven't raised rates on any of their customers for 3 years. So, but he did say that, you know, operational costs do increase over time, or they expect them to, and of course they would probably pass that on to us. But that being said, that he could put a 3% rate cap in the contract, so it would never go more than 3% right now.
1-year contracts or multiple year?
No, this would be over the lifetime, 3%. So that will need to be put into the contract.
Okay. Assuming this will be a new line item in the PW budget?
Yes.
And would the village buildings be able to use this system to watch our own, monitor our own usage?
Yes.
Would we demand that?
Could we demand it? Is that what
Or
you
could we, I mean, is
Yeah.
it, I guess if I understand it correctly, we actually can view all of this stuff through Census FlexNet, right?
Right.
So we already can see it through that. I guess then why would we register for this? This is more of a customer portal, or?
Correct.
Is it just more user-friendly reports that we could see?
You know,
It's what our consumption is?
A lot of the people who are using this system right now told me that it's actually very easy to use. So when you do get a call from a customer, that a lot of these people are actually using this system rather than the Census system, because you could arrive at, answers and solutions much quicker.
And I think we would do it no matter what, just because it's a great opportunity to be the end user as well as the provider, just to make sure that we see what residents and businesses are seeing on their end. So the answer to your question is yes, we would.
Perfect. And then I would hope that we would promote this new feature to our customers by way of all of our social media outlets, Facebook, Twitter, how to use it, and try and get them to register. I mean, might as well make it successful if we're going to pay for it and offer it. That's it, except I love the idea of more technology-centric stuff for our community.
I guess the only other, just to piggyback on what Trustee Kruger said, Mr. Monishane, is there a game plan regarding the water billing bills to get that message out? I mean, have you guys talked about it? How are we going to get people to know to sign up for this or do this?
For this, or for the ability for people to pay online?
For basically this.
Oh, sure, we can put it on the water bill itself, and we'll do a social media campaign. I think what we'll do is create a flyer that has all the information and use that as the e-blast.
Okay.
And make sure that, I mean, we could talk about it more at these meetings. Right, we want people to use it.
Okay.
That's.
But I guess that's how we're going to market this thing, so they do use it. Okay. If there's nothing else, entertain a motion.
So move.
Motion by Trustee Hein. Second by Trustee, Lang. Roll call, please.
Trustee Hein?
Yes.
Trustee Vito?
Yes.
Trustee Brady?
Yes.
Trustee Lang?
Yes.
Trustee Kruger?
Yes.
Trustee Vogel?
Yes.
President Juris?
Yes, thank you. Official communication, Trustee Lang, anything?
Yeah, just briefly, Devon Bank was over there last week, and actually several times been dining over in that area, and noticed that the wind turbines are not turbining. And didn't we give them special consideration to install those? I know it was a Leeds building at one time, or I don't know if it still is, but isn't there, I'd like to see those in use and going again. They, at one point they're going to just start getting rusted and not usable anymore. And it was a great idea when they had it. I don't know who to address it to other than John for now, but.
Sure, we can look in, because I don't know the answer off the top of my head, but I don't believe we incentivized for it, but there's probably a variance involved. But either way, you're right. We don't want anything to be on site and not in use. So we can see what the situation is and report back to the board.
It's a great idea, and I'd love to see it in use. It's just a shame that it's slowly deteriorating. So that's all I had. Thank you.
Thank you. Trustee Brady?
Thank you. Years I've lived here, I've always had traffic problems on Dundee Road, constant. Before, when they opened up, I said this before, when they opened up Lake Cook Road, it was supposed to solve all our problems. It didn't. Everything we do never, ever improves traffic on Dundee Road. Now we're at the threshold of our town center development building, right now 600 units, plus possibility of how many more across the street. And I don't see all these plans that we had on how we can improve traffic flow on Dundee Road, that studies that we've made these past years. Nothing is being implemented. And it scares me, because Northgate and Dundee is going to be one busy, busy place. You can't get out of there now if you're on Northgate. Can you imagine when the Northgate crossings, there are 300 and some apartments, and when Urban R2 finishes, there are 300 apartments plus the train and the businesses there. And if the property where Century 21 up to the post office, if that gets developed, and then you get a couple hundred units in there, it's going to be a nightmare. We have to, I don't know what we can do. There's got to be some options to at least improve it or at least try to keep up with the traffic, but we got to do something. We have to do something. What do we get? Another study? Dust off one of the old ones? I don't know. I don't know how the rest of you think, but I think it's important. We got to start now because a year from now, or maybe a year and a half from now, we're going to be facing that problem head on.
You want to address that? Go ahead.
Well, a couple of things. One, there are 2 improvements that are approved and ready to be constructed, and those are the right turn lanes off of Dundee, where, in front of Market Square and at 83, where it is expected that a lot of the backed up traffic will be relieved with the turn lane taking traffic from that northernmost lane and allowing it to turn right and go north on whatever the through street is. So that is something that is happening and we think is going to have a major impact. The other thing is with the project next door, there was great consideration given to the uses that are going into that campus so that the major traffic times would be offset from what is the typical rush hour traffic. Movie theaters, people are going at night, 7 o'clock, 9 o'clock shows. Typically, the rush is then, which is after the normal congestion from the commute has gone. Same with restaurant uses. It's typically after everyone has gone home and is now going to dinner. So those things have been taken into consideration. Anything more than that, I'm not sure what we can do. The only thing that's ever been discussed is an underpass, overpass, which has been deemed several times to not be realistic.
That's not so much for the price, but just what it would do to Dundee Road. The length that they have to go east and west to complete that would be knock Glen Plaza right out of the business. But, we always talked about an additional railroad crossing to relieve some of that. And we've always talked basically down by Carpenter or one of the streets down there as a good spot. But we did mention at one time up north, between Dundee and Lake Cook Road, if there was a way we could sneak the drive in there, would be a huge help, an extension of Strong Street through, because that would relieve all of the not only the people that live in there, but all the industry back in that area would have another way to get out without coming out of Dundee or Lake Cook. So I really like to see us really get busy on doing something.
We can reissue those studies. Metro was pretty clear about their thoughts on another at-grade crossing, but we can provide that information back to the board from what Metro has told us repeatedly about another at-grade crossing, whether it be on the north or the south side. One of the impediments to creating, like you said, at Carpenter was we would have to move the existing station. Some of that can be done, but I think we have to weigh the cost-benefit analysis of that and consider what Metra's not only opinion is, but ultimate approval would be for a project like that.
Okay.
And if I may, just to add on that, and I was going to bring this up now, but I'll do it now. At the Northwest Municipal Conference, I'm sorry. We had a meeting last week with the Transportation Committee, and we list a bunch of things that we felt that are prioritized in our communities. I mean, just highway projects. I mean, the 53-120. I mean, the Elgin Express, a lot of that stuff. But road projects, and I think this is where it comes into play. Corridor projects. One of the priorities, and they're seeking funding for it, and it looks like it's happening, which we talk about, is the Lake Cook corridor, road corridor. They're going to do major improvements there this year. The Palatine Road, they're looking at doing something regarding the frontage road there. It's not just Dundee Road, it's everything else around us. We talked about Wolf Road. These are priorities that the committee came out with that's going to get approved this month by the entire commission. And a couple of other things too, just to touch base. Metro service improvements and expansion, okay? Not just for service,
but improvements of its existing facilities. This has been recognized as one of those problems, okay, that we're working with Metro to try to do something with. The Des Plaines River Trail, Milwaukee Avenue crossings and everything else that they're doing into the Forest Preserve. I mean, taking care of arterials around us that what I think will help us is, we talk about Dundee Road being a nightmare. Lake Cook Road's a nightmare right now the way it is. It goes from 3 to 2 to 1. You know, it's goofy over there. So we're proactively going after some of these programs out there, working with the agencies to try to do something and try to better our infrastructure around us to help us with the traffic thing. Like John had mentioned, a couple of projects are in place right now for this year. They're right accelerating lanes. We talked about picking up easements, which we have, and doing center turning lanes and doing stuff like that that we're aggressively going after. Maybe looking at Northgate. We talked about that about a month and a half ago, 2 months ago. Are there something reconfigurations of Northgate that we can work with? You're right. There's a lot we need to do because we have the opportunity to do something. But I think being proactive and going after other agencies to recognize those problems. You know, Wolf Road, it's been talked about for how long? Especially now with the Heritage Park improvement and everything else. Why isn't Wolf Road being reconstructed and why are we not moving forward instead of that project always going to the back burners? So I'll tell you behind the scenes, a lot of things is being mentioned and being pushed, and I think it's really for the betterment of what we're trying to do here. But you bring up a great point regarding traffic because we need to look at everything around us to help everybody, whether it be the park district, whether it be new development, whether it be whatever. So.
And it's only going to get worse because, you know, we're being threatened with money taken away from us that we desperately need transportation. We're talking about more transportation. They're talking about less money for transportation. And like I say, I'd venture to say that within a couple of years, there'll be almost 1,000 units that around that intersection. That's serious.
And you know what? And how about going west? How about going east? I mean, there's development around us too. Not just the village of Wheeling. Oh, yeah. So don't lose sight of that.
I know, but
because there's a lot of PUDs being proposed everywhere.
On Dundee Road, once you get past Schoenbeck, you're home free. Mm-hmm. I don't know why Lake Cook gets so backed up because there are no railroad tracks that interfere with it.
Right.
Doesn't make sense. Thank you.
Of course. Thanks. Trustee Vogel.
Nothing. Thank you.
Trustee Hein.
Nothing this evening.
Oh, thank you. Trustee Vito.
Yeah, I just wanted to make a note that I attended my first State of the Village speeches. The Chamber was out there as well, and it was nice to see them here today. It was a really good event. I actually joined the Chamber about a year ago, and one of the board members I talked to at the time kind of begged me to get on because he said, you know, we're in dire shape, and it's clearly turned around. And I've talked with Director Melanthropy a lot and with Drew Garcia a lot about the economic development that's going on. It's good to see. And it was good to see both villages, Prospect Heights and Wheeling, really kind of work together with the Chamber. And I think there's a lot of good in the economic development department of our villages, and it's good to see.
Thank you, Joe. Trustee Kruger?
Yes, thank you. I guess I'll start with distracted driving. I know I sound like a broken record because I keep bringing this up all the time, but it just irritates me to see people continue to talk on their phones behind the wheel with a device in their hand when it's been against the law for over a year now. The Daily Herald, in fact, had 3 articles and 2 editorials in a 4-day span specifically about distracted driving. I met with staff today and have asked that they work on a more safe driving notifications and use our social media outlets, put up signs, maybe not just the marquee, but something bigger and more annoying that people will see on the street. Certainly sitting in Director Melanophy's office today, I just looked out the window and gritted my teeth because I could pick out 5 people just sitting out on Dundee Road talking on the phone. And one was just doing this, la 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 la, talking on the phone. It cracked me up. But anyway, I'm probably going to sound like a broken record, but I will probably bring this up every couple of weeks and try and raise awareness that it is likely becoming one of the biggest reasons for vehicular death. And more so than seatbelts and DUI. So anyway, enough about that. Something more positive. This Saturday is it. Lincolnshire and Wheeling Professional Firefighters, the Brave the Shave, is this Friday at Home Bar at 1227 North Rand Road, Arlington Heights, from 2 to 7 p.m. Come and watch most of our firefighters get their heads shaved. And I will be there as a volunteer, and a family friend is going to be a shaver. And there will be great things for the kids to do, 50-50 raffles. It's a really great time. Come on out on Saturday. The weather's supposed to be way better, so reason enough to come out and party. So that's all. Thank you.
The time on that again? I'm sorry.
2 to 7 p.m. at Home Bar, 1227 North Rand Road.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Clerk Simpson.
Okay, think spring, April 7th is the consolidated election. And we have mailed ballot applications that you can pick up either by the deputy clerk's desk or down in finance. And you mail the application in, and they will send you a ballot to vote for, then you can mail that back in. This will be available now and through April 2nd. Also, early voting will take place March 23rd through April 4th. And there's 2 locations, Arlington Heights Village Hall and Northbrook Village Hall, and I'll give you more information on that at our next meeting. And if you need further information, you can either go to the Cook County Clerk's website and download a mail ballot application for yourself, or I'm going to have Luca put it on the website.
It is already up.
Oh, it is already up. Okay, thank you.
Okay. Manager Svandelis?
I have one thing. If my calendar is correct, I believe Friday is your birthday.
Oh.
So happy birthday in advance. And that is all I have.
That time again, huh?
Can we sing?
No singing,
Can we
no
sing?
nothing. Please.
Oh.
Thank you. Just one thing, we talked a little bit about social media, and I was just wondering, I'm not looking for an answer right now, but maybe get back to the board on what is our protocol and procedure and plan, and how would we continually update our social media avenues? You know, when news stories come out, or things that come out, or things that we need to promote, do we have, come up with a plan? I'd like to see
We
it.
have one.
Okay.
Absolutely.
And maybe share it with us sometime.
Yeah, you actually approved one. I can absolutely do that.
Okay? I would appreciate that. Thanks. That's all I have. I entertain a motion to approve the minutes for February 12th through the 25th, 2015.
Bills.
The approval of bills.
So moved.
Second?
Motion by trustee Kruger, second by trustee Lang. Roll call.
Trustee Hein?
Yes.
Trustee Vito?
Yes.
Trustee Brady?
Yes.
Trustee Lang?
Yes.
Trustee Kruger?
Yes.
Trustee Vogel?
Yes.
President Harris.
Yes. We do have executive session this evening for the discipline, performance, or removal of occupant of a public office. Entertain a motion.
So move.
Motion by trustee Hein. Second by
Second.
trustee Kruger. Roll call.
Trustee Hein?
Yes.
Trustee Vito?
Yes.
Trustee Brady?
Yes.
Trustee Lang?
Yes.
Trustee Kruger?
Yes.
Trustee Vogel?
Yes.
President Harris.
Yes. Okay, we'll go into executive session, say about 5 minutes to 8. Thanks.
I had to get a happy birthday.